Welcome to this KRQE Investigate special. Over the next hour, we are going to look at some of the best investigations of 2023. We begin with an investigation from September. A family rushing to try and save their dog's life, stopped and held at gunpoint by the cops. Gabrielle Burkhardt shows you what happened next.
It was a neighborhood cat that lured Stella the Labradoodle into traffic in July.
I was like, oh my God, our dog just got hit.
The Albrecht family jumped into action.
We jumped in the car and started trying to get to the ER as fast as we could to try to save her life.
William Albrecht headed down 550 through Bernalillo from their Rio Rancho home toward the nearest 24-hour emergency vet. He spots a Bernalillo police cruiser.
So I imagined if he was going to pull me over for speeding, I'd pull over, he'd say something to me, and then maybe even help us get there. I've heard of stories like that before, but that didn't happen.
Driver, step out of the vehicle!
This is what did happen.
Face the away from me!
Lapel video shows Officer Jeremy Navarez put Albrecht at gunpoint, ordering him out of the car.
Step back! Step back!
Realizing what's happening,
My dog's gonna die!
Albrecht's wife starts recording on her cell phone.
Roll the window down, Remy.
I'm thinking, this is unbelievable. I can't believe this. Like, why didn't someone just come check with us, find out what the reason our speeding was, and help us?
She and her son watch in disbelief.
Step back, go to your left!
As Navarez directs Albrecht into traffic, backup arrives, but they continue with a felony stop.
Get faster! Get on your knees!
Guns drawn. His wife and 16-year-old son now at gunpoint.
My dog's about to die!
Albrecht is handcuffed.
My dog's about to die!
I saw my son was sticking his hands out the window too, like, dude, our dog's gonna die.
Okay, come to me. My dog's gonna die.
And none of them seemed to even care at the moment at all.
Keep your hands, please! My neighbor hit my dog, that's my son and my wife! Stand up. Please, sir, my dog's about to die!
He's taken to the back of a patrol car.
Sir, my dog's bleeding out of mouth! Okay.
Albrecht's wife tries to explain.
She's going to die. She got hit by a car. Look at his face, sir. Look, she's bleeding. Look at my dog. My dog is bleeding out of the face. And they're holding us on the side of the road.
The officer who pulled them over wrote in his report that Albrecht was speeding and driving recklessly, but he wasn't given a citation, and there's no video of a pursuit. That first officer also never walked up to the family's car to check on the dog or ask why they were speeding.
Officer Navarez's report says he drew his firearm and pointed it towards the immediate threat, writing the driver looked mad with his hands clenched in the air. The officer's video shows otherwise.
Driver, step out of the vehicle!
The second I saw my guns to my son's head, like, I really felt like when I got out of the car, like, this dude might shoot me if I make the wrong move.
I can't believe you're doing this, sir. Christ, man.
Another officer convinced Navarez to let the family go.
Let them get out of here. Rest responding units, go ahead and downgrade.
The cuffs come off.
Dude, you're something else, man.
You're something else, sir.
Yeah, that was
Good luck with your dogs.
Their dog Stella didn't make it.
It's horrible. Like, she was such a great dog.
So how did speeding turn into a felony stop? The family had no weapons or warrants.
I can't believe you pulled your gun on my kids, sir.
Policy.
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
We asked for a copy of that policy and the use of force policies from Bernalillo Police, but those policies don't explain what happened here.
BPD's policy does call for de-escalation, saying the level of force employed must be commensurate with the threat posed by the subject and the seriousness of the situation. Officer Navarez claims Albrecht didn't immediately pull over, which he disputes.
As soon as I noticed the lights, I pulled over.
We have something before and the red Escalade, 550 eastbound. Maybe on stopping. Oh, now it's stopping.
For confirming the vehicle is stopping.
33 seconds after his first call to dispatch, he says they're stopped.
His brake lights are activated. Chevron, 550.
No one came at him, no one threatened him. And again, like, what did he see that scared him so bad? I mean, this guy was angry.
The Albrecht saw just how angry watching the officer's recording.
Are you kidding me?
So he's gonna complain.
They also heard Officer Navarez's explanation.
Well, yeah, so I did a felony stop on him because he wasn't stopping when he stopped. Okay. Once we found out his dog was injured and he was trying to get to veterinarian, we tried the ID and let him go if he's being
okay. That guy shouldn't be a cop.
What was going through your head?
Just scared. He's calling my dad names and stuff. It's not right. Shouldn't be a police officer.
We called Bernalillo police to ask if they're investigating the stop. We left messages for the chief, called and emailed, but we never got an answer. We also showed the video to the ACLU.
I do think it was an excessive use of force, an unnecessary use of force, and this is why people are fearful of the police.
Maria Martinez is the legal director for ACLU New Mexico.
Police departments just need to really be serious about consequences when this type of thing happens. So in this specific case, I think these officers should be disciplined.
Gabrielle Burkhart, KRQE Investigates.
The Albrecht family plans to sue Bernalillo police 2 months after our investigation. Officer Jeremy Nevadas was arrested by Rio Rancho police for battery in a domestic dispute. Town officials say he's on administrative leave pending an investigation. Guns have been a big topic of discussion this year. In February, Ann Perret showed us how convicted criminals and even kids are getting them and why these so-called straw purchase cases can be tough to prove.
911 emergency.
My grandson just shot my brother. Hurry! Hurry, please!
Police department.
It's January 12th. Albuquerque police are responding to the first murder of 2022. They find Daniel Trujillo dead in his living room. His great-nephew, Dominic Mora, admits to pulling the trigger.
Like I heard the pop and I closed my eyes and he just fell.
He's dead to me.
Alberta Trujillo is the one who called 911. She's Mora's grandma. APD asks if she's ever seen him with guns.
I said, I don't like him. I'm afraid of him. Get him out of here.
Detectives found 11 guns in their home. Just 4 months later, court records reveal the grandma Straw purchased at least 3 of those guns for Mora.
On a straw purchase, someone is going in there and buying the firearm for somebody else and lying on the form that is in fact for them when it really wasn't.
Court records state Trujillo confessed to the feds her grandson ordered the guns online. She went to the store to buy them for him. The first time, he was underage, just 16 years old.
Prohibited persons cannot go in and buy a firearm, so they try to find innovative ways to get in there and get a hold of these things to help with their drug trade, to help with their violent actions.
ATF Special Agent Brendan Eiber says family members with clean records often do the job. That's how Omar Felix Cueva had a gun when State Police Officer Darian Jarrett pulled him over in February 2021. Cueva's wife, Laura Swanquist Chavez, admits she bought it for the convicted felon in August 2020. 162 days later, Felix Cueva used it during the stop to shoot and kill Officer Jarrett. That number of days between when a gun is legally bought and when police recover it is called the time to crime.
And the shorter time to crime is a little bit of a clue for us, right? Because usually people that are buying firearms for hunting or, for home protection or whatever, they're not really getting rid of those firearms after 79 days.
That time frame is generated by an electronic trace, or e-trace.
It is typing the gun information into a website that is hosted by the ATF. We enter that information. We have an agency code. We provide serial number, make, model, and some other identifiers. And we submit it to the ATF.
Commander Nicholas Sanders oversees the Albuquerque Police Department's Scientific Evidence Division inside the agency's crime lab.
Pretty much any firearm that we receive in that is connected to a criminal nexus, we will enter it into e-trace.
In return, within 24 hours, investigators learn who bought the gun and where and when they did so. For example, APD recovered a gun at this murder in July 2021. A federal search warrant shows it was later traced to a Roswell man. He wasn't the shooter. The ATF believes he's the supplier. In that case, And e-traces of other guns confiscated by police show at least 5 other criminal investigations across the state.
It's assistance in the investigatory leads.
Answering the question, how did the suspected criminal get a gun? And while the ATF believes it's typically through a straw purchaser, Special Agent Iber says they can't know how bad the problem is because police agencies aren't required to trace guns. And right now, only 50% actually do.
We are missing a lot of data there. If we could get every single law enforcement agency to trace their firearms, we would have a much broader sense of really what's going on.
Sitting in this position for a relatively short amount of time and seeing it from this view, it is new to me. And I think it's an important focus.
Since Alexander Ubaez became New Mexico's U.S. Attorney last May, we noticed an uptick in the number of straw purchasing investigations. His office charged 8 people in 2022 compared to 1 a decade ago, and there are other search warrants that haven't yet led to charges.
So it works both from the beginning and from when we seize a gun, where did it come from? And then when we take a gun from a drug trafficker, where is it going?
Ubaez says firearms do go to the Mexican cartels. He met with law enforcement in Mexico City late last year to talk about the issue.
It's the same organizations who are the buyers of the firearms going south that are shipping the fentanyl up north.
But firearms trace data from the ATF shows the vast majority of the straw purchased guns in New Mexico are going to other New Mexicans. So Ubaez is focused on Albuquerque too.
I'm in a particularly violent city where it seems like we have shootings on a daily basis. Stopping the flow of firearms to those who mean others ill is incredibly important.
Like Larry Archuleta, who Ubaez's office says has been supplying an Albuquerque gang with pistols, rifles, and shotguns for at least a year and a half. The feds caught Archuleta after he bought 33 guns at 3 gun stores across the city in just 5 months. He's charged with straw purchasing 24 of those. Court records show a gang member used Snapchat to tell him what to buy.
These criminals are very, if they'd only put their ingenuity towards real business, they'd probably make a lot of money.
Ann Perrette, KRQE investigates.
The ATF admits this is a difficult crime to prove because they don't often have a Snapchat or text message to make their case for them. We are just getting started on this KRQE Investigate special. When we come back, what happens when a nuisance neighbor problem gets out of control? Neighbors were afraid to step outside and couldn't even enjoy their own backyards. In January, Gabrielle Burkhardt showed us one woman neighbors say was wreaking havoc on the block.
Yelling racial slurs at a grocery delivery driver. Shouting threats at neighbors out on a walk. Even spraying her next-door neighbors and their home surveillance cameras with a hose while they're outside barbecuing in their own backyard.
Now you can go out. Water is my yard that I paid for. Everything. You pay your water bill. Just keep your water on your side.
Home surveillance footage shared with KRQE Investigates captures what neighbors describe as constant harassment by one woman on the block.
You don't feel safe completely in your own home.
Right.
Lexi Hernandez owns the home next door to the problem neighbor.
Every time we'd come home, something like that would happen.
Hernandez showed us surveillance footage from their backyard, a glimpse of what she and her wife say they've been dealing with for months.
I feel she definitely needs the help. Our community, our little neighborhood needs the help as well.
The harassment, she says, is unprovoked, and Hernandez believes her neighbor suffers from mental health issues. One reason we're not naming her. But it's not just the woman's next-door neighbors who've been the target of her attacks on this block near Ladera Golf Course.
When somebody comes out of their house screaming and yelling at you, trying to wet you with the hose, saying vulgar things that I can't say out of my mouth, spitting on old people, walking a dog, starting fires.
Betty Kogut lives down the street and was asked last year to be the neighborhood block captain.
I asked him, well, what does a block captain do? And nothing. He's send out emails, basically. And I said, I can do that. I'm retired. But I have to tell you, this has been the most consuming thing I've ever done in my life.
That's because all of her neighbors now go to her about encounters with the problem neighbor. In an effort to get the woman and her neighbors some help, Kogut tries to document each incident and shares concerns with their local Albuquerque police area commander.
The police have been here so many times. They do come when we call. She won't let them in.
And that's the other problem. Records show Albuquerque police have responded to this home more than 50 times last year.
This is the Albuquerque Police Department. You need to come to the front door and make contact with officers. We're not going away.
But in most cases, no one answers the door, and the police do have to leave.
She has these outbursts, and then she runs into her home whenever they come.
What would you like to see happen?
I mean, something, because there has been nothing.
Most recently, the problem neighbor was charged with assault for reportedly throwing baseball-sized rocks at women out walking their dogs. Neighbors also filed a temporary restraining order against her.
Albuquerque police wouldn't interview with us on camera about this specific case, but we do know its crisis intervention officers have responded to the woman's home multiple times. APD sent us a statement saying, in part, the state needs more mental health resources.
Pending battery cases are making their way through the courts, and at least one was transferred to Bernalillo County's Behavioral Health Resource Connection Court, or BHRC.
What we're trying to do, I think, with all specialty courts in general, is to address the bigger issues at hand so we'd stop reoffending.
Jessica Alsop is a mental health attorney for the Public Defender's Office in Albuquerque. And while she couldn't share specifics about this case, Alsop explained the process of BHRC.
In addition to basic needs like housing or services, the other thing that we look at is mental health needs. So what type of counseling is appropriate for this individual? Is it behavioral health? Is it a substance abuse issue?
Mental health court essentially pushes pause on the criminal case while a case manager addresses the underlying issues.
What happens if they don't participate or fail to show up?
If they fail to show up or something goes wrong, all that happens is the case gets unpaused and kind of actually starts from the beginning.
The goal, she says, is to resolve conflicts like this one in a way that connects people with treatment and resources, something she argues jail time won't do.
These things take time, and it's just giving people a chance, I think, at this point.
Neighbors say they understand that, but they worry someone will get hurt before too long.
We've been talking about selling the home.
Finding peace in their own homes is getting tougher.
It is such a great community and great area, and I would hate to have to, leave because of this.
Gabrielle Burkhart, KRQE Investigates.
Months after our story aired, APD arrested the woman for allegedly trying to run over one of her neighbors with her car. A judge agreed to keep the woman in jail for a few months before releasing her in October to a halfway house on the condition she did not return to her old neighborhood. Neighbors say over the last few months they've enjoyed peace on the block. Still to come on this KRQE Investigate special, a missing persons case closed with a murder confession out of the blue more than 14 years later. In May, Ann Perret sifted through all the audio and video of a murder confession for a missing person police thought he might be making it up, but soon realized his story was real.
One 911 call.
Sir, tell me exactly what happened.
Well, I killed somebody.
You killed somebody?
Yes, sir.
With a casual confession made from a stranger's phone at a gas station.
Here you go.
Puts an end to a 14-year mystery.
What's your name, sir?
Tony Peralta.
And who is the person that you killed, Tony?
His name is Bill.
Bill, whose full name is William Blodgett, was reported missing to Roswell police more than a decade ago. It's the middle of a Monday afternoon earlier this month. A very calm Peralta waits on the curb for officers to arrive.
I'm just tired of covering it up already.
You try to cover it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm tired of living with my wife, sir.
The guilt?
Hell yeah.
The officer asks if Peralta will take him to where he buried Blodgett.
Let's go.
Okay.
Without being told, Peralta puts his hands behind his back to be cuffed. As he's walked to a patrol car, he thanks the officers.
Thank you guys for coming.
It's the first of many thank yous throughout his arrest. Peralta's driven to the Roswell Police Department, where he tells them he's taken blood pressure pills and a drink to get up the nerve to come forward.
Did it happen at the house?
It did.
It did?
I was on meth really bad.
Okay.
And I killed him because he didn't give me no money. And I buried him in his house.
Because he can't remember the address, Peralta agrees to help them locate the house. We later find out he lived there too. Blodgett was his landlord. In his early 20s, Peralta rented a room in Blodgett's house.
It's right here. The next house.
This white one?
This white one here?
Yeah. I buried him in that slight place right here.
The area that looks like a room added on to the home. Now that they have the address, police match it to an old report on William Blodgett's disappearance, which shows they were suspicious of Peralta then and even searched the house.
Why didn't they smell his body in there?
I don't know.
It's a good question. Blodgett's son reported him missing in January 2009, saying he hadn't been seen since Christmas Eve. Court records revealed police used a cadaver dog on the property days after he disappeared, and a detective interviewed Peralta because a witness told police Blodgett had accused Peralta of stealing his wallet and tried to evict him. But the report states neither the dog nor Peralta gave police any leads. They closed the case.
But what part of that room?
The left side.
The left side?
Yeah, if you pull the board up and dig him up.
And sure enough, with a shovel and flashlights, officers get to work doing just that.
Let's pull this out.
Let's see what
Let's see where to
get it with the shovel.
It takes some time, but they eventually realize Peralta was telling the truth.
Oh no, that's a shoe.
Yep, let's see. I think it is. There's the, like, I think it's the boot. Oh, check that. Yep. Yep.
That boot has bones in it. While they wait for the search warrant to continue collecting remains, Peralta is driven back to the station. Police have more questions.
I just don't want to talk anymore.
Well, it's off your shoulders now, man.
Peralta starts to let go of 14 years of guilt.
I know this is probably a big, hard decision you had to make. You've been thinking about it for a while?
Every day.
The detective tries to get more information from Peralta, and he repeatedly says he can't remember. But he does eventually admit he used a screwdriver to kill the 69-year-old.
You got family in town here?
Yeah. That's why I wanted to confess. They don't, nothing happens to them. It was my fault for my sending them.
The detective tells Peralta this should bring some closure to Blodgett's family.
Tell them that he was a good man and I shouldn't have did what I did. He was always good to me, and I took his life for no reason. And I don't have an excuse.
Peralta pled guilty in August and was sentenced to 15 years in prison. A warning on this next story. Some people may find the video disturbing. In February, Gabrielle Burkhardt took us through the harrowing case of John Paul Vallejos, the prime suspect in 2 double murders.
September of last year, a well-positioned surveillance camera at an Albuquerque apartment complex captures a murder in cold blood. Daniel Humphrey was opening his door when this man walks up to him, pulls out a gun, and shoots the 31-year-old in the head. The gunman then went inside, shooting Humphrey's aunt, Sonia Tenorio. Witnesses quickly ID'd the killer in the video as the victim's upstairs neighbor, John Paul Vallejos. The SWAT team arrests him the next day at a relative's home. Did anyone see this coming?
2 wrongful death lawsuits claim someone should have. Allegations that had authorities taken a closer look at what happened in the months and even years leading up to this moment, lives could have been saved.
You go through his history and you see nothing but red flags: restraining orders, violation of restraining orders, death threats, drugs, stolen vehicles, possession of deadly firearms, so all of these are red flags.
David Adams is an attorney representing the victim's family in wrongful death lawsuits against the apartment complex management, the company they used to conduct background checks on tenants, and against the Albuquerque Police Department.
The most alarming part of the case that came up initially was knowing that he discharged a firearm into the apartment where 2 people were later killed.
Less than 2 months before this moment,
Come on in.
The family called 911 from their apartment. Lapel video from last July shows Sonia Tenorio's niece explain to Albuquerque police officers what just happened.
There's a bullet right there.
Okay. Did you hear anything?
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, I heard a big old boom, and I was like, I'm familiar with the sound of a gun,
A gunshot through her bedroom ceiling.
What does he have?
Kids. I have an infant who's crawling, so that was my biggest scare was, what if my baby was right there?
No one was hit that day, but the family was clearly shaken.
I hope it was accidental, Maybe he was just cleaning his firearm and it went off. But should have a little more knowledge than that,
But she also told officers her upstairs neighbor creeped her out.
Just in case.
And showed them text messages where Vallejos came on to her.
Are you single?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, how did you get this number? I told him. He said someone needed to use the phone, your homie or something. And after that, never responded again.
Yeah.
I was like, that's creepy.
For sure.
Officers combed the parking lot that day, took a report, sent in someone to take evidence photos, and knocked on Vallejos' door upstairs, but no one answered.
That knock is what a lawsuit against APD says was the only attempt to speak with, investigate, or apprehend Vallejos for that gunshot through his neighbor's ceiling. Nearly 2 months later, APD would be back to the family's apartment, this time investigating 2 murders.
Did you guys see anybody?
Adams says when officers took the shooting report in July, investigators should have known Vallejos was a convicted felon and the prime suspect in another double murder. Vallejos' uncle, Hezekiel Cordova, and his uncle's longtime girlfriend, Virginia Serna, were found shot to death in their Barelas home back in May. Relatives are sure Vallejos pulled the trigger, but he wasn't charged. Adams points to red flags Vallejos' own uncle raised when he filed a restraining order against his nephew in 2020, writing Vallejos was violent and, quote, constantly reminds us that he's murdered someone before and got away with self-defense and that he would not be afraid to kill us.
For the family, holding people accountable that could have had a role in preventing this from happening.
2 days after his neighbors reported a gunshot through their ceiling.
It definitely came from his apartment.
An officer noted he went back to the complex and traced the SUV parked outside Vallejos' apartment to his murdered uncle, Hezekiel Cordova. But there's no mention in that report that the officer knew his uncle was killed in May or that Vallejos was the suspect. Case closed pending further leads. APD declined an interview but says detectives are still investigating the Barelas murders.
Not doing anything usually results in the worst case scenario, which is exactly what happened here.
Looking further through Vallejos' lengthy criminal history, Adams points out another missed chance to prevent these tragedies. In 2016, Vallejos' mom called the cops saying her son was on meth, holding a gun to her face. Vallejos told officers at the time he was suffering from PTSD after he'd killed a home intruder the year prior in a, quote, justified shooting. Months later, the case involving his mom was dismissed due to lack of victim cooperation. Now charged in 2 murders and the prime suspect in 2 more.
Hey, what year is it, John?
Vallejos will stay in jail pending trial. Gabrielle Burkhart, KRQE investigates.
Vallejos was held in jail pending trial after his most recent arrest. His next court hearing is scheduled for next year. Coming up next on this KRQE Investigate special, an investigation that has been seen by almost 2 million people. In April, we told you about a tale from the Old West. Ann Perrette takes you inside what two brothers describe as a cattle guard conspiracy.
Driving around the Stone family's property, you hit cattle guard after cattle guard after cattle guard.
They're putting them in every half a mile, and the two over there are less than a quarter mile apart.
There are 9 total on Quay County Roads 70, U, 69, and T, dividing their ranch.
They're willing to spend whatever it takes to run me off of the real estate, and I think it's wrong, and I just don't give up that easy.
The brothers claim the conspiracy started in 2007.
This is the only way I could access my farmland down here.
Bucky Stone says this cattle guard shut down his farming operation indefinitely.
I have 16-foot farm equipment. So the county come in and put in an 11-foot cattle guard and an 11-foot gate. I cannot get farm equipment from one field to the other.
For Dusty, how the cattle guards went in created an issue. He says they asked the 3 his family put in be removed since they had a fence. Instead, Dusty claims the county replaced those and added 4 more. And during installation, he says the county took out part of his fence, forcing the use of the cattle guards. But Dusty claims they didn't work because the counties never kept them clear. Photos dating back to 2007 show the area underneath filled with dirt and weeds. He also accuses the county of building the cattle guards too narrow.
It's ridiculously aggravating to see how they're using public funds to harass somebody that out here doing their own thing.
To keep his livestock on his property, Dusty closed his fence by moving this green gate. The county then sued, and he had to put it back. Dusty says over the next several years, his livestock ended up getting out, leading to 2 crashes, 1 deadly. He's reached out to the New Mexico Livestock Board countless times for help. In a 2015 incident report, an investigator noted the county should widen the cattle guards and post open range signs to warn drivers. Dusty says that never happened, so he's since illegally closed the fence with this silver wire.
And since then, I know of no complaints with my livestock, but up until then there was complaints of the livestock running loose all the time.
The whole mess, Dusty says, cost him a business training rodeo and show horses. And then in 2019, the 8th cattle guard arrived, making the problem worse.
The way they built it up, you can't get equipment in and out with my horses and mules, and they don't maintain the gate that anybody can use.
The 9th came in 2021, prompting Dusty and Bucky to take Quay County's road superintendent and commissioners to federal court.
They claim to be the law in this county, can do what they want, and we're going to find out, I guess.
The Stone family and Quay County are used to communicating about these cattle guards through lawsuits. Both parties have been filing against each other for more than a decade, and the Stones have never won. So I asked the brothers' attorney how this lawsuit is different from the others.
What is different about these other actions is the sort of accumulation over time of all these cattle guards building up a stronger case.
Plus, attorney Christina West says Dusty brought the other lawsuits without the help of a lawyer. She claims the installation of the last 2 cattle guards makes their case. The county is targeting the Stones.
And we're not aware of any other property in the vicinity or in Quay County that has 9 cattle guards.
An invoice for the 9th reveals their neighbors purchased it, so the Wallens are also named in the suit. That invoice was created just 18 days after their second failed attempt to foreclose on the Stones' property.
And the timing of it and both the legal grounds for it are very suspect, and it appears to just be an attempt of a conspiracy somehow between the county and these neighbors to try to get ownership of this property.
The lawsuit demands the county remove all 9 cattle guards.
because there is no reason for them and the property's fenced in, so there's no harm to the public.
We reached out to the attorneys for the county road superintendent, commissioners, and the Wallens. They wouldn't provide a comment since the lawsuit is still pending, but court records show their attempts to dismiss. The county's response also appears to try to discredit the Stones, citing their history of filing lawsuits. Waiting for a resolution, Bucky is developing a hunting business, hoping to attract game to the property he can no longer farm.
I've had to divert resources to get this squared away.
And Dusty is running a tenth of the livestock he'd like to be.
And I've had to take outside jobs to earn money, as far as like truck driving and some construction work. Lots of changes have had to come about to survive.
Ann Perrette, KRQE Investigates.
We have more investigations still to come after the break. A popular New Mexico tourist attraction has been closed since the start of COVID. A look at why after the break. A year after marijuana was legalized, Albuquerque now has more pot shops than liquor stores. In June, Ann Perrette looks at the market and what some retailers are doing to get an edge.
The attention to detail outside and inside his store is evident.
I pre-roll all mine by hand.
Andre Galarza will do anything to see this business succeed because he gave everything to open it.
We literally put our entire retirement, mine and hers, and we are literally what you call all in.
The Galarzas opened their mom and pop pot shop, 505 Farms, in December. It's a cannabis micro business, meaning they can only grow 200 plants.
So all this flower I've grown, so we only support New Mexico grown, New Mexico extracted, New Mexico business, period.
Galarza says a lot of their customers are also local from the surrounding neighborhood. Some walk-ins, many repeats, which had him feeling more confident they'd succeed. A high Galarza was riding until he learned a larger company is working to move into that old car sales lot just 2 blocks down here on Lomas.
Yeah, there's no sleep. I mean, it's terrifying.
The city previously denied the location to Relief Cannabis Company last summer because it would be within 600 feet of an existing pot shop. But last month, the company asked the zoning hearing examiner for an exception to the rule. Galarza and other nearby cannabis businesses laid out their concerns.
There were properties that I passed on that were better than the property I purchased, but they were located next to a dispensary. But I was playing by the rules.
Relief argued using a vacant building, they'd be revitalizing the community.
We would be obviously putting back into the community, redeveloping this area. They also employ local folks.
2 weeks later, Galarza received notice. Zoning decided Relief Cannabis can move in. It'll be the company's second location. Galarza's currently working on an appeal. The city says it's received 20 other requests for exemptions to the 600-foot rule. 14 of those received the go-ahead so far. Galarza questions the point of the ordinance he once considered a security blanket.
They have more resources than you have, so let's park right next to you and put my resources versus your resources, and let's see who wins.
Because their math is saying, I think that other store's not doing as well as they could, and I can do it better. And in some cases, we're seeing that the new stores are right.
Outside of City Council, Pat Davis is the co-founder of Weeds Cannabis Consulting Service. With this role and having been involved in the industry for years, we asked him about the status of what appears to be a saturated recreational cannabis industry in Albuquerque.
The number of stores, the number of licenses statewide has far exceeded even the most optimistic projections we had when we were looking at what we thought this might be before the law passed.
Take a look. KRQE mapped out the locations of every approved retail license location in the city. As of April, a year into legalization, the city's said yes to 186 retailers, a third of those within the last 6 months. We have just 146 liquor stores, by the way.
Albuquerque has about 2.5 times more stores per capita than the market is probably going to allow. And that probably means that next year we're going to see roughly a third of these stores probably won't be in business or never opened in the first place, and another third of that 2 years from now.
That would mean by next spring, dozens of stores closing in Albuquerque and others that just couldn't open. Because Davis says while it's easy to get the $2,500 retail license, regulations and other costs create a challenge.
Some of those folks that got in early, the first ones on the best locations in town, they're doing great. They have lines around the store when they open in the morning. They're open late, and you see their big social media presence. They're doing great. But there aren't a lot of great addresses anymore.
Another reason why, he says, we're seeing the requests to move within 600 feet of an established retailer. Davis believes for the smaller stores to avoid getting cannibalized, they need to team up or attract customers in a different way.
Here's some of the selection of our product line. So there'll be an attendant here being able to serve people either their concentrates or their edibles.
We're standing inside the Enchanted Botanicals Cannabis Consumption Lounge.
I think there's a lot of different ways that you would be able to enjoy this space, whether you're here to smoke a quick joint or whether you're here to have a meeting with your CEO of your other cannabis business.
The Amistoy brothers were the first to get their retail location approved by the city, a spot on Central in Nob Hill they purchased a year before cannabis became legal. The pair built this consumption lounge into the original design because they believe this is where the industry is headed.
And it's not just going to be somewhere to come get high, right? We're going to have classes weekly, we're going to be doing yoga, we're going to be doing movie nights.
Pierre tells me their HVAC system sanitizes the air so the typical cannabis smell won't exist in or outside the building. A security guard will always be on duty, and employees are trained to prevent overconsumption.
Because we've really completed the supply chain and protected what we've built, it would be really hard to take us out.
Ann Perrette, KRQE investigates.
People have been wondering, when will the public be allowed to see the tent rocks again? A national monument that's been closed since the pandemic. Gabrielle Burkhart shows you why it could be still a while.
Oh man, just look at these sites though.
Anyone who's seen them up close walks away from the Kashakatui tent rocks with memories and pictures of the stratified bands, remarkable images unique to this spot in New Mexico.
A lot of my work was studying volcanic eruption processes and the types of rocks that were created by those eruptions.
University of New Mexico professor Dr. Gary Smith has been studying the area since the 1980s.
We were interested in trying to do a better job of understanding a poorly known but very intense period of volcanic activity in the southern Jemez Mountains between about 6 and 7 million years ago.
A site etched out of volcanic ash near the Cochiti Pueblo millions of years ago, the towering formations called hoodoos serve as a spiritual wonder to the Pueblo people and a scientific wonder to those who study it.
I was just astounded at the beauty of the hillsides, regardless of their geologic origin.
Kashakatui tent rocks were proclaimed a national monument in 2001 by President Bill Clinton, a preservation effort Smith contributed to. And for the last 2 decades, it's been a centerpiece for the state's tourism advertising.
For all those people at home, you definitely want to come see this. Do not take this for granted.
With images and videos showing hikers in the slot canyons.
These are the things that are in New Mexico that people can just do on a day trip.
But that hasn't been the case for the past 3 years. The national monument was closed during the 2020 pandemic shutdowns, and it remains closed today. Why? We went digging for answers.
For months, emails and phone calls requesting interviews with the state's tourism department, the Bureau of Land Management, Secretary of the Interior's office, Congresswoman Teresa Ledger Fernandez, and Senator Martin Heinrich were answered with replies like, "We will not be providing a comment or participating in this story at this time." Cochiti Pueblo leaders also declined to comment. Then finally, the BLM agreed to chat.
BLM has been meeting regularly with the Pueblo. We have been in discussions about what reopening looks like.
Jamie Garcia, an outdoor recreation planner with the BLM, says they're addressing long-standing issues, including over-visitation, staffing needs, and resource protection, alongside Pueblo de Cochiti.
We've had such high recreation use, and we want to make sure that we are taking a step back and really looking at that big picture item there and seeing how we can move forward in a more sustainable and responsible way.
The Cochiti Pueblo remains closed, citing COVID-19 restrictions, blocking road access to the National Monument, which sits on BLM land. The site's managed by the BLM in close cooperation and partnership with the Pueblo.
I suspect that the designation of the National Monument was a double-edged sword. On one hand, it provides resources and legal protections for preservation, but once someone sees a national monument on a map, it's close to Interstate 25, it's close to the Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, Santa Fe metropolitan areas, then that just becomes a magnet to draw more people.
Data published in a government-issued 2020 science plan shows visitation levels each year since the monument designation. In 2000, Tent Rocks recorded over 14,000 visitors. In 2001, that jumped to 25,000 with the presidential proclamation. Since then, visitation has increased exponentially to more than 100,000 people a year before the COVID shutdown.
But even before the pandemic, I recall seeing activity, discussions between the BLM and Cochiti trying to think about how to handle the large crowds, that it was having detrimental impact on the landscape that they were joint stewards to preserve.
It's going to be $5.
Spring break 2018, News 13 reported on the massive line of cars, 90-minute wait times just to park.
In the past few weeks, they've been over capacity.
People from Australia, people are coming in from Japan. It's quite the destination now.
The pre-2020 data report states current visitation is nearly 3 times the original planned capacity, which was designed to hold about 50,000 visitors annually. So will visits to the monument move to time ticketing? Garcia says that, along with a fee increase, have been proposed.
We have not implemented anything yet, but it is something we would like to do, make sure that we can keep up with growing costs of supplies and demand.
Meanwhile, locals are still seeing advertisements for Tent Rocks.
Well, I'll look forward to going back again for sure.
And still waiting.
Do you think Tent Rocks will open this spring? How long can they keep it closed? So everyone wants to know.
Gabrielle Burkhart, KRQE Investigates.
The Bureau of Land Management says it will update plans for Tent Rocks on its website, but it depends on what the Pueblo de Cochiti decides. This was a KRQE News 13 special. We'll have plenty more investigations in 2024. For more, go to krqe.com. Thanks for watching.